There are moments when a single troubling thought takes hold somewhere in the mind and begins to spiral endlessly, pulling in worry after worry until the entire inner experience has been consumed by a relentless loop that feels impossible to step away from, no matter how much effort is made to simply release it and move on. This particular pattern of repetitive negative thinking, where the same fears and regrets circle back again and again without resolution, is something that quietly affects a great number of people who may not even recognize it as a distinct experience, separate from simply being stressed or tired or overwhelmed by the ordinary and accumulating demands of everyday life. One of the most recognizable signs of this mental loop is the way a small, seemingly manageable concern gradually absorbs more and more attention throughout the day, growing heavier with each return until it crowds out the ability to focus on anything else, rest peacefully, or feel any genuine sense of calm, even during quiet and otherwise undisturbed moments. Another pattern that tends to appear is the habit of mentally replaying past conversations or decisions over and over again, searching for some different outcome or a moment where things could have gone another way. Even though the situation has long since passed and nothing about the revisiting changes what actually happened or brings the mind any closer to the peace it is seeking. A third tendency worth noticing is the way this kind of thinking often intensifies precisely at night, when the distractions of the day have fallen away and the mind is left alone with itself, making the hours before sleep feel like an unprotected stretch of time where every unresolved concern rushes in without invitation to fill the silence. People caught in this loop frequently find themselves drawn toward worst-case scenarios almost automatically, not because the worst outcome is genuinely likely, but because the mind has begun to treat preparation for disaster as a form of control, as though imagining every possible failure in advance might somehow make those failures less devastating if they were ever to arrive. What gradually helps in these situations is a gentle but consistent practice of noticing the moment the loop begins, not with the intention of forcing the thought to stop, but simply with the quiet acknowledgement that a thought is circling and that its circling does not necessarily mean it carries the weight or urgency the mind is currently assigning to it. When this kind of awareness is brought to the pattern regularly over time, the grip of the loop tends to loosen on its own. Not because the underlying concerns have disappeared, but because the mind has been given a small and reliable way to pause at the very threshold of the spiral before being drawn fully and helplessly inside of it. The body holds a great deal of this accumulated mental tension without the conscious mind always being aware of it, which is why even a brief moment of deliberate physical stillness, such as slowing the breath or gently releasing the muscles of the shoulders, can begin to signal to the nervous system that the emergency the mind has been preparing for is not, in this particular moment, actually present or requiring immediate response. Over time, with patient and repeated practice, the habit of returning to this grounded and settled state becomes steadily more available, and the spiral of negative thought gradually loses the automatic pull it once had, leaving behind a quieter kind of awareness that is simply more at ease with the uncertainty that life will always, in some measure, continue to carry forward.